Hey, what's up guys? This is Pat from PopularMMOs.com and I'm doing a features video for Dragon Nest, a free fantasy MMORPG with action-style combat and anime-style graphics. And what I'm going to be showing you guys is some PvP, some of the dungeons, and some of the other cool aspects to this game. And the first thing I'm going to show you guys is some PvP, since I'm already getting started with that right now. And one of the cool things about PvP in this game is it's a lot more interesting since you have to dodge attacks and stuff because of the action style combat. And also you can actually start it at a really low level, which is pretty cool. So right at level 10, when you hit the second town in the game, you can start the PvP. And there's gonna be a lot of high level players, but you can actually set the level for your matches so that you're not against people that are too difficult. But right now I'm actually against people that are a little bit higher than me, about like 10 levels higher, so it is going to be pretty difficult to win at this level. But the combat is pretty fun, and I think that's what makes the PvP interesting in this game. And the combat is really fluid, is something that I noticed in this game. That's one of the things I like about it. And the next thing that I want to show you guys is how to actually enter these, and it's really easy to do. So guys, this game does have channels, so all you have to do is enter an arena channel and you'll easily be able to get to the arenas. And all you have to do is talk to one of the guys there, and this board will pop up, and this shows all the matches that you can enter. And as you can see, you can set the different levels, and you can set them in different ways. You can set there to be rounds, the battle, so there'll be a bunch of different rounds. So like one round someone wins, next round someone else wins. So even if you die once, you can still win the match. And there'll be free-for-all matches where everyone's against each other. So it is pretty fun. And the PvP in this game is pretty cool because people actually are really interested in the PvP. Because games like Vindictus, which are a similar game to Dragon Nest, the PvP, it's really hard to find matches, and it's actually pretty popular in this game. So you shouldn't really have a problem finding some PvP. One of the other unique features in Dragon Nest is that you can actually build friendships with NPCs in towns, which is a kind of a cool thing. All you really have to do is talk to them from time to time, and you can build up a friendship with them. But another thing you can do is you can give them gifts. And if you give them gifts that they like, then you'll build up a stronger friendship with them. But if you don't give them gifts that they like, you can actually lose some of your friendship with them. This is a cool feature I haven't really seen in any other games, being able to, you know, build up a friendship with different NPCs in the game. So I think that's a pretty cool feature to have in the game. And as you can tell, the graphics in this game are pretty nice for an anime style game. Anime style really isn't, you know, my favorite, but I actually do like the look of this game. One really important thing to mention, guys, is that this game does not have a big open world. And this game pretty much has a few different town hubs, and there's dungeons you can outside the town. And that's pretty much all there is to it. There really isn't a big world you can explore, so if that's something you like to do, you might not want to try this game. And I really do enjoy huge worlds to be able to explore. But this game, the good thing about games like this is that you can easily find groups for like dungeons and PvP and stuff like that, because that's pretty much what everyone is doing since there isn't a big world to explore. And right now I'm showing you how to enter a dungeon, and as you can see there's different modes like normal, hard, master, and abyss, and it has a recommended party size for each one, which is pretty cool. And it's good to be able to, you know, try different amounts hard. If it's too easy, it's good to be able to go normal mode or hard mode. And you can do hard mode as one player, but it would be real difficult because the recommended party size is 1. We'll just go in easy just to show you guys what the dungeons are like. So all you have to do is enter, and then you're right in the dungeon. One reason, guys, that I really like that there's different difficulties for the dungeons is because some players, you know, like more of a challenge than other players, and some players are more skilled than other players. So it really makes it so there's stuff to do for everybody. Because some games you might not want to play just specifically because it's too easy or too difficult. So there really is content for everyone. There's hard content for people, and there's easy content for other people that are just more here to have fun. And then there's hard content for the people that really want a tough challenge in the game. And as you can see in this game, there's an action-style combat, but there's also an action bar. And I think that makes the combat a little more unique and a little more interesting. Because it's not really just clicking, you know, your right-click, left-click. There's actually a lot to the combat. And it really does get you using your keyboard a lot for people that don't use the keyboard. Because I really don't. In a lot of games, you know, I'm just here to have fun mostly, and I just, you know, I've always, when I started playing, always just used my mouse to click the skills. And this kind of game really gets you hitting the keyboard. So it might, you know, make you a better player at games in general. And as you can see, there's some pretty nice animations too. And the stuff you loot, you can just pick up pretty easily with F, and it'll go right into your inventory. When you get to the end of the dungeons, you will fight a boss fight. And as you can see, this boss is actually pretty cool looking. So the bosses are interesting looking and do make the dungeons a lot more fun. And the combat is, you know, a little more complicated, and there's some, you know, mechanics to the fight. So it's a little bit more fun once you get to the boss fight. And another thing worth mentioning, guys, is there is actually another kind of dungeon in this game where you kind of just fight wave after wave of monsters, and that's available once you hit level 15. So as you can see, this boss fight is pretty interesting, pretty cool. So this game does have some pretty cool stuff, and the dungeons, they do keep the dungeons exciting, if you know what I mean. 'Cause some games, you know, the dungeons feel really repetitive, but these dungeons do feel pretty exciting, pretty fun. So it is worth, you know, doing a lot of dungeons. And it makes sense because, you know, this game is really based around dungeons because it's not like a big open world game. So you're not going to just be exploring the world doing quests. There's actually going to be all kinds of dungeons. There has to be all kinds of dungeons, you know, to do for everybody, and to keep it exciting at the same time. And after you complete the boss fight, you'll get to pick a reward. You'll get a random reward, and that's when you're actually going to get your experience. You don't actually get your experience as you're fighting in the dungeon, but you get it actually after you complete it. And you're going to get more of the harder difficulty that you choose for the dungeon. So guys, I beat the boss, and he drops all kinds of loot, so you're going to get plenty of loot at the end. And then after this goes is when you get to choose your reward. And it's a pretty simple process. And as you can see, I got my experience now, so I gained a level. And I got a rating in the dungeon. You get a rating. A isn't actually the best, but one of the best. And this is where you just get a random reward, which is pretty cool to at least get something. And it's going to be random. I didn't really get a good one, but you can get a pretty good reward with something more helpful, you know, to like enchant some of your high level gear and stuff like that. Dragon Nest does have a crafting system, and it's going to involve talking to the NPCs in your town like the blacksmith, and they're going to be able to do the crafts for you. And if you take a look at this is actually how you craft the gifts that you're going to give to the NPCs, you know, to build up the friendship with them. And if you click on them, it'll tell you exactly what you need to make it. So it's pretty simple. All you have to have is the materials, and then you'll be able to create it. So it is pretty easy to use. And another thing worth mentioning is this game does have an auction house, which is called the Marketplace. And it's real easy to use, but not really worth showing. So anyways, guys, that's about all I want to show for the features video of Dragon Nest. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe to my channel, and check out PopularMMOs.com. See you guys.